It is a fact that Ghana is blessed with abundant natural resources,
with gold being the highest earning commodity.
However, the citizens are yet to reap maximum benefits from its gold.
Question:
who digs the gold?
And who benefits from this rich mineral resource?
The overall objective of Ghana's local content bill is to ensure that Ghana's natural resources benefits Ghanaians.
I mean, legally mining company, and you go and do Galamsey and you are caught, you can be persecuted. So if you are sourcing the products locally, the demand for foreign currency will go down. And if it goes down, it means that you are making your city stronger, and it brings stability into your macroeconomic environment, which is very key.
Kweku Bolton explores local content in the mining sector. Does it bring job creation,
economic growth, and productivity?
It is exactly 5 o'clock a.m. and the weather is cold, and connecting to the colorful skies, the upper rim of the sun is appearing on the horizon. Some people have started going about their businesses with beaming smiles, while others look forward to trekking through the scorching hazardous sun in search for jobs. Ghana is blessed with a vibrant workforce engaged in various fields of endeavors. Beside the scientists, researchers, contractors, engineers, technicians, among other work disciplines, the country abounds in craft persons who believe in the concept of entrepreneurship. This is Nana Kwame Amokwano, Queen Mother of Gomwa Okou. She is a traditional leader who has broken patriarchal jinx to study auto body engineering at the Government Technical Institute.
Pacha, yefreme Nana Kwame Amokwano, Gomwa Okou Jasenyan.
Na hase Nana.
Yes, Eshamin Kwande. I am more Munde, a Jumano, Memman away. Now, sometimes no memuano, Ukutena, Wofi says, I Juman, Ugo to my. Nana me them mouse to my. Timituanam so Damaza, Mamsumam Quachai, Nami shed a mutu my Ibia, Intimanam Damaza. Ba me buy so. Mahunde, a Juman Yemi, you could send the Wusham Basu is Ibia. Pasa, we are make or mine. Now, make us send mines. Na
Adams Ramatu also studied mechanical engineering. These engineering students are poised to work in the mining sector to sustain their livelihoods and contribute their quota to supporting the growth of the economy and to bridge gender gap.
My course that I'm offering is auto engineering. Then I'm having a lot of interest in this course because when I completed GHS, I was having more interested in like cars. Don't let people to push you down that this course is difficult for you. No, me, it's not difficult for me. Nobody told me to come and offer this course. I was the one who said I'll do it. I want to furthermore in the mining company to get more experience.
These are some of the engineering ladies who have taken a bold step to work in the mining sector to inspire the young ladies to study engineering.
I think going forward, government scholarships should be awarded to people who are taking courses in areas that we have limited supply of expertise in. And so if you are sponsoring somebody, sponsor somebody to go out there to do welding at the international, to get international certification, to do petrochemical engineering, and to do things for which we have limited local supply.
Data from the Ghana Statistical Service revealed that between the first and second quarter of 2022, about 445,000 persons 15 years and older outside the labor force joined the number of unemployed persons. More so, close to 850,000 persons 15 years and older employed in the first quarter transitioned to unemployment status in the second quarter, and 1.76 million persons were unemployed in the third quarter of 2022. The data looks scary, with unemployment becoming a security issue in the country.
Every company that comes under this mining extraction industry, they are supposed to have some number of their skilled people recruited within the country. Is that okay? Which means that you cannot wholesale have all your top management level being expatriates. It means that you have to employ people, train them, and so that they will also have the skill to continue to work. So that is one of them. Number two, it means that we are also developing the skill base of our people, so that in 10 years, 20 years to come, you can see that let's say about 30% of the top management skillful staff could be Ghanaians, because you are forced by the law to do so. You understand? And if you don't do so, there are sanctions attached to it.
Ghana is blessed with a wide variety of minerals, including gold, bauxite, manganese, diamond, and newly found deposit of lithium. About 16 licensed mining industries in Ghana and more than 300 small-scale miners are engaged in exploration, mapping, drilling, and blasting, among others. The licensed mining industries work with professionals.
When we talk of local content, simply we're referring to the quantity or percentage of locally produced materials, personnel, financing, or local business participation in the production of final goods and services.
Now, in trying to source locally, we're also encouraging local producers of those inputs to grow, to become bigger, expand, and employ more people, so that it aids development. And therefore, local content is key, and it takes different forms. It could be products you are producing. Typical manufacturers, for example, they go by local content arrangements.
The implementation of local content law brings relief to Ghanaians. This is in reference to the local content framework for Ghana's mining industry, which is creating local employment whilst promoting the growth of domestic manufacturing.
When it comes to other areas such as oil and gas, mining, the supply base of all these companies, we want it to be locally sourced. So if it is even human resource, use local people. We call it localization. That is part of local content. In the end, as you use people locally, you actually expand the local environment, you expand the local businesses, you expand activities at the local community level, and then you get everybody involved. You have a buy-in from them, and then you can grow your business very well.
Once people are working and they earn money, or they earn their salaries and wages, then there's growth. And these monies will be in turn used in the country as a whole, and the whole country will also benefit because people are working and they are receiving money. And for the companies too, they also benefit because they are also getting resources.
The Mining Local Content Regulations LI 2431 seeks to promote job opportunities and the use of local goods and service while developing and enhancing the international competitiveness of domestic businesses in the mining sector.
We have this local content that says that a certain number of workers, skilled workers, it should be from Ghana. You should employ them from within the community, within the country.
The regulations specifically reserve the provisions of certain service for Ghanaians. These include camp management services, supply of stationery and toiletries, collection of rubbish, and other sanitation services. Contract mining services for small-scale mining operations, haulage, fuel supply, security services, and catering services are required to be the reserve of Ghanaians.
At some point, even water was being imported. At some point, even food was being imported. But these are things you can do locally. Now here, I must commend the Petroleum Commission and some of the companies that made a lot of effort in this area. And today, a lot of it is local based because basic food items, and you may think it's so simple, what is food? You can just produce. Even bread, at some point, was being imported. We also recently, when we had a problem during the COVID period, it got to a point we were all panicking as a country because a lot of our products we consuming are imported. And people were wondering whether we were going to get those supplies. And if a dry spell happens, and the countries, when it came that critical point, they were protecting what they had. So supplies were not coming in. And if we had locked down for a long time, we would have known the disastrous nature of this situation on us. So it is very important that you source locally. When you source locally, it means you have reliability of the supply.
We have been exploring gold for quite a long time, since the colonial era. But if you look at the percentage that comes to Ghana through royalties and through taxes, research has shown that it has not been beyond 10%. Most of the investments in the sector come from outside the country. Foreign investors put their monies into the exploration and the production. And in most cases, when the gold is exported, a lot of the benefits are repatriated or sent out. Very little flows to Ghana. In terms of economic impacts, one, we are emphasizing on value addition. So if it's good, we are refining the good here. By way of doing that, we enhance the value of whatever output that comes from the extractive industry. And once the value is being enhanced, what it means is that taxes, how much tax government generates from the sector will also increase.
As I said, supply chain and local content development is a development. It's not a one-off event. So you can say, I'm courting this small enterprise. I want to help them to grow. At the beginning, when they are having challenges with finance, because the bank will say, I've never worked with you before. I don't have experience with you. How would I give you a loan? Meanwhile, you the buyer, you know that this guy can do it. Let's give him some small advance. With that, he can probably reach a level where he can get bank financing or other finances and then produce for you.
At the Ghana Chamber of Mine Stakeholders Engagement, members of the industry supply chain had the rare opportunity to exhibit their products. The president of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Dr. Suleiman Nukoni, tasked the local government to put high premium the local content.
The mining companies, when they are talking about local content, it's not core mining. You are talking about various inputs which go into the supply chain. And these products generally are manufactured products, fabricated products, and so on and so forth. And in our belief is that because this lies within the bosom of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, it is important that they show more interest, in the work of the Ghana Chamber of Mines and its member companies, especially when it comes to local content.
Though local content is a vibrant idea, capitalists share some of the frustration companies go through during procurement processes.
I'm here as a local company. It's not so easy for me to know what I have to do to play in the mining sector. It is not overly or visibly advertised, or you don't see it everywhere. You need to want to play there for you to know it. Having access to the right information is sometimes very tough. Some of the requirements are quite hard to attain within a very short time. And some of the requirements, sometimes you will not be able to attain it because may favor other entities who may not even exist in Ghana, who may actually be out of the country, right? So these are, for me, the bureaucracies, the lack of information, and sometimes money. You just don't have the money to be able to do it, even though you have the capacity in terms of the capability, in terms of the technical know-how. But they may require certain bonds. They may require certain initial financial expenditure outlay that may deter you.
The mining policy requires duly registered Ghanaian-owned companies to provide services and covered entities, including technical and engineering services. However, these companies are expected to produce quality products to meet international standards.
You want to know the process involved in the selection of suppliers, contractors, and other service providers who want to provide goods and service to the company.
But generally speaking, if they are selecting companies to supply, there are a lot of issues they look out for. One, your capacity to supply when the order is given. And you must demonstrate that capacity. Don't just talk about it. If you say you are a factory producing this, where is the factory? They must go and inspect it. If you say you can produce this volume, that's the factory they are seeing, the machines they are seeing, the people there, the expertise you have. Can it indeed produce that volume? They will do the necessary due diligence. So they will test, they will check on that. They will do the checks on that. Again, they will look at your ability to meet deadlines. First the standards and then the deadlines. So the standard is this. Can you meet it? Maybe you are producing that particular item, but for all you know, your standard is not what their requirements are. So they may say, I want a company that can meet this standard. So there could be so many companies they may have shortlisted, but they will identify the one that can actually meet the standard. And then they come into the question of how quick or early or feasible it is for you to supply within a certain period. They will examine that. When they put all this together, then they sign an agreement with you.
The Ghana Minerals and Mining Policy requires responsible mining to protect the environment. According to the legal practitioner, pollution of water bodies and mining in forest reserves are offenses which attract jail terms.
These penalties and sanctions may include fine, suspension, revocation of licenses, permits and concessions, and even criminal prosecution in some cases. So if you take a concession as a mining, illegally mining company, and you go and do galamsey, destroying our water bodies, and you are caught, you can be persecuted because you have violated the conditions upon which the license was given to you.
Now we have a situation where foreigners, mainly Chinese, are using complex machines doing small-scale mining. In small-scale mining, surface mining, usually we don't use those kind of machines. And you are not also supposed to mine within a certain radius of river bodies. You are not also supposed to enter reserve forest areas. But here is the case now, because we are not able to strictly enforce the laws and regulations, people are going into our reserve forest areas. People are mining in our water bodies, not even within the 100 meters radius that is supposed to be reserved. People have actually gone into the river beds themselves to mine, destroying our water bodies, destroying our forest reserves, and destroying our vegetation in general. Agricultural lands are being destroyed, even cocoa farms are being destroyed for the purpose of mining. That is not sustainable mining.
Obviously, The activities of galamsey, or illegal mining, have had devastating effects on Ghana's economic growth. However, the ban on the galamsey has affected the livelihoods of the people in mining communities, especially those with no skillful job. Can local content be of help to such people?
As a win-win situation, I think the large-scale mining companies can invest into developing the development of alternative livelihoods for young men and women who were previously doing galamsey. Government, through the Ghana Enterprise Agency, I think can also step up their entrepreneurship and informal business training activities to make sure that we are building the capacity of unemployed youths to find them something to do.
And not only jobs, skill jobs, because there will be transfer of skills. The law requires that not all your high-skilled staff are expatriates. You understand what I mean? We may not have the skill here as it is now, but what program do you have as a company who is mining or who is into extractive industry? What program do you have so that in 5 years to come, the indigenous people that you came to mine from their locality, they can also have the skills to continue to work? You employ them, you train them, you take them outside, whether it's a refresher course, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, then you bring them back to come and work. That is where the transfer of knowledge comes in. Transfer of skills and knowledge.
Despite high unemployment rates in the country, the total number of persons employed by the Ghana's large-scale mines as of 2020 was 34,363. This comprised of 3,760 direct employees and 25,603 contract workers.
Before the adoption of the local content bill in 2013, the local communities used to benefit mainly through the corporate social responsibility activities of the mining companies. So for instance, we could have a mining company putting up a borehole to provide water. In some instances, they provide health facilities. Sometimes they provide educational amenities or any such community social infrastructure at the community level. Now, what the local content bill seeks to do is to formalize what most of the companies were already doing and to encourage the companies to do more by way of trying to integrate local expertise, local personnel, local materials, engaging indigenous Ghanaian companies in some of the activities that they outsource.
Beside the fiscal and tangible contributions of mining to the economy, the mining industry contributes to social multipliers, which arise from the role of mining companies in the development of human resources and infrastructure such as schools, colleges, clinics, roads, and housing in their respective area of operation. In 2019, the producing members of the Ghana Chamber of Mines invested $24.5 million in their host communities. The mining and quarrying sector's contribution total fiscal revenue increased from 4.052 billion Ghana cedis in 2019 to 4.398 billion Ghana cedis in 2020, representing an upturn of 8.5%. My name is Kweku, Bolton.